My name is Chavaughn The Mad Hatter. I'm 19 years old, and I'm a writer, producer, and a hip-hop artist in general. Artist in general, I'd say. Something like that. Of the like. I've been making music since I was in 7th grade, so like, I want to say 7 years now. I mean, it took me a while to actually, start taking it serious, but like once I started getting in the groove of things, music just kind of took over on its own. Well, it started off, I started writing poetry initially, and I always kind of wanted to be like into the whole hip hop world, and, being an artist and all, but it took me a while to actually, I think, muster up the courage to try. And towards the end of my 8th grade year, my dad he used to be a recording artist back in the day, and one day I suggested a song idea to him, and it just kind of started from there. And then after that, I just kind of started learning how to produce, and I started writing and practicing my craft, and I just kept going until I got to where I am now. Even though I said that before, but I think music just kind of takes over on its own. If you're really passionate about it, I think it'll show. And no matter what people say, when I first started making music, people like, dude, you suck. And I was like, I'm trying, but it took a while for me to actually, realize that none of that matters. All that matters is, how much you care about it, and if it's something that you really want to do, just do it. And do it until you get better at doing it, and then maybe you'll turn into a star and spontaneously combust. Because that's how galaxies are born. The person that inspired me to start making music was an artist called Lupe Fiasco. Specifically, he had this album called The Cool that he put out in 2007. And my dad bought it, and he used to play it a lot. And once I got in like 8th grade, I started to get my own taste in music, and I just kind of started exploring a lot of different artists. And he was always one that really stuck out to me because he always had something to say, and whether it be touching on political subjects or social commentary, the things that are going on in the world, and it really stood out to me, and it made me realize like how much music can impact somebody if you really have something to say, and like how relatable an artist can be to you. And I think that's kind of what I've always tried to strive for in my music, because music is something I love so much, especially rap or hip hop in general. Because when you find an artist that you can really relate to, and I think that's what kind of inspired me to start making music, because if people can relate to me in the same sense that I can relate to other artists, that means I'm doing something correctly. Yeah, if I were to describe my music, I'd say it'd be more of like an existential standpoint on a lot of different things in terms of, life or death, or it's just really contemplative. But I don't know, I always kind of try to study a lot of different philosophical ideas and kind of express them through my music. It's kind of usually it's just a lot of social commentary, or I think if anything, I'm more of a storyteller though. I like to create different scenarios and different characters, and just kind of just play out their worlds, via music. I think I've always been like more prone to be I started off as a writer, just writing short stories and things like that. And I think I just kind of took that idea and just put it into the form of a song. So definitely a storyteller. Well, I think initially I had like a different rap name. I called myself No An Eternal Yearning. And I think the reason why I called myself that was more because I was at a phase in my life where I was trying to understand the world better. And by that I mean, whether it be like social issues going on in America, or, different tragedies are going on in the world and how war affected different people, and just what it meant to wish for something that was better in the world. And usually that sense of better, not better, what's another word I could use? That sense of goodness is like not something that you ever really see too much. And I think that's where the term like knowing, like yearning, or knowing eternal yearning came from, because it was like you always yearn for a sense of something that you'll never get. And then but I later changed my name to Chavaughn The Mad Hatter, more so because I felt I wanted to start expressing myself in a sense of me talking about how I feel about things personally, and less of me just looking at stuff from a third point of view. And I chose the title Mad Hatter towards the end of it because I think just like how the Mad Hatter is character, he's kind of like a split personality almost, and it was like I wanted that other sense of what the Mad Hatter is to be a manifestation of like the other side of me that I don't really show to other people. So I guess in a sense I try to make my real life and like my music persona like contradict each other, and so I think it's more of me just showing my inner self through my music, just showing the other side of me that I don't really show other people. Thus, the Mad Hatter, Chavaughn The Mad Hatter. Yes, I'm currently working on a project. I don't really have any details on it yet, but I think it's going to be pretty interesting. I think I'm trying to go back to my roots and really try to rediscover what type of artist I am. Because lately I've been focused heavy on concepts to the point where I've kind of taken the fun out of making music because I take it so serious. And I think for now I just want to make something I can enjoy. I listen to my music more than anybody else does, and it's kind of creepy, but I mean I make music that I like to listen to, so if I don't enjoy it, what's the point of creating it? I was born in Las Vegas, Nevada, but I grew up in North Las Vegas, Magic Mesa Street. It's my home street. It's where I lived, and I think my city definitely had an effect on my music. Las Vegas is not a city that's really known for appreciating artistic value. You know, it's more focused around tourism, and a lot of locals who live there, you know, they're not really very supportive of each other in a sense. I think that's why I was always more of an independent artist. I've kind of always been that way. And I think if anything, it just showed me like to work harder, you know. You don't really need anybody's validation to know that you're good at something. And I think my music is an embodiment of just that, you know. I taught myself how to do everything. I taught myself how to record. I taught myself how to mix everything, you know. I taught myself how to work with audio equipment so that I could edit all my own work. And ultimately, you know, it made me a better artist, even though I struggled a lot of the way. And even though, like, for right now, you know, it might be a hobby, you know, if I just keep working at it, maybe I'll catch somebody's eye. You never know. But definitely, I think, even though, you know, the place I grew up pushed me to be more of an independent artist, and it wasn't never really very supportive of music artists, but it's definitely showed me that, you know, hard work is always the way to go. You know, actually, I grew up listening to a lot of hip hop and jazz and R&B. My dad used to play a lot of Tupac and, you know, Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, a lot of Dr. Dre, Master P, a lot of the old school. You know, my mom played a lot of Tribe Called Quest, a lot of Paris, a lot of R&B too, a lot of Erykah Badu. I grew up around a lot of Jill Scott. So it's, you know, just a lot of old school music in general. A lot of Earth, Wind and Fire. I listen to a lot of that around my grandma, stuff like that. And if anything, I think that a lot of that type of music has influenced the type of artist I am, because I still listen to a lot of that more than I do modern music, ironically. And I'm not really too much of a purist, but I think it's always good to appreciate the roots. So that's really, well, at least where a lot of ideas from my instrumentation come from, is those types of genres of music. I mean, I do listen to other music outside of that, but as a core, that was the foundation of music that made me the artist I am today. Indubitably. Now, my parents are actually very supportive of my music, more so than I initially thought they would be. And if anything, that's just helped me be more confident in what I do. Just know my mom listens to my music and isn't like, yo, this is garbage. Just because I decided to go down the road of not really appealing to the masses and just making more of what I enjoy and what I think is right. So I think just because of that, so my mom hears it and she sees kind of, I don't really talk about how I feel about a lot of things. So a lot of what I feel about certain subjects and a lot of stuff like that is really what I conveyed through my music. So, just for somebody like my mom to be able to listen to my music and see things through my eyes and not be judgmental of it, it's really a good feeling. The reason why I love music so much and the reason why I decided to make music was because music is what always got me through my days. Just finding an artist that, I related to and that I could listen to, and, I felt like they got me, they understood what I was going through. Just knowing that there are artists like that out there that you can just, click a button and just be like, hey man, I know how that feels. Sometimes life sucks, but you just got to keep going, and stuff like that. Just to know that there's music like that out there, it's really got me through my day, listening to a lot of different artists. And I think my ultimate goal is to be able to touch somebody's heart just the way music touched mine, and help somebody get through their day when they feel like they can't take another one. You can follow me on SoundCloud at Chavaughn The Mad Hatter. I also have a YouTube, which is also Chavaughn The Mad Hatter. You can also follow me on Twitter at Chavaughn TMH. Hit me with a follow, click a couple like buttons, retweet me. I'll love you forever. Please. I need followers and hugs and lots of kisses. And yeah, I'll see you there in the cyber world.